the quality of this pen is just a second order phenomenon. My but my experience of this pen is like the first order phenomenon. So that's what he means by quality. So the video is, what is the quality of a religious mind? I don't know. Let's find out. 19th
Christ became the mediator between the human and the so-called divine.
human and divine. Okay, okay.
And I believe if you have read Rig Veda, or I was told about it because I don't read all this, that there, in the first Veda, there is no mention of God at all. There is only this worship of something immense, expressed in nature, in the earth, in the clouds, in the trees, in the beauty of vision. But that being very, very simple, the priest said, that's too simple.
Let's mix it up.
Let's mix it up. Let's little confuse it a little bit. And then
It's too simple. You know what? It's too simple. Let's just spice things up a bit. Let's give it symbols. Let's create a stereotype. You know what? While I'm at it, I might as well create a system which serves me as a priest. Let's do that. Now be thinking, guys. What?
began. I believe this is tracing the interpreter, the mediator, the explainer, the exploiter, the man who said this is right, this is wrong, you must believe this or you go to perdition, and so on, so on, so on.
That's a huge trap, guys. Anytime you are believing something on blind faith, dogmatically, someone said, "Oh, yeah, you should. This is good. This is bad." That's immediately begs you to like question with like open skepticism. Like, why is that the case? It's really important in this work, at least.
Generated fear. Not the adoration of beauty, not the adoration of life lived totally, wholly without conflict, but something placed outside there, beyond and above what he considered to be God, and made propaganda for that. And in that...
So here, the word attention, I made an entire video in my previous Jiddu Krishnamurthi video, By attention, what he means is this. This word is really important. Attention actually means this present moment without any dualities. If you remove all dualities, all preference to something else, and just prefer this whole moment as is, he's calling that attention. So just so that we are clear.
Quality of attention.
Quality of now, so there's attention, all right, which is the isness of this moment without preferring something else. It's like, oh, if this had like a Mercedes Benz, then I prefer this moment. No, not like that, but rather just the pure isness without any like preference. If you remove all the glasses, what would you see? Now he's saying the quality of attention. Now, what does the quality of attention means? It's like you're taking this attention and then you're investigating. It's like, oh, it's like how like quality of this pen. We are like touching this pen, we see like an object. It feels like this. It looks like this. You watching this could never know the quality of this pen. Only I could know the quality of this pen because you have never touched this pen or experienced this pen in your direct experience, you see. So right now, this pen, the quality of this pen, if I describe, is a second-hand information for you. It exists in a conceptual realm. Whereas for me, it exists in an experiential realm. and that's a very big difference. So he's saying the quality of attention is coming from this place of he's kind of like experiencing and is like touching, feeling, sensing, and he's like describing it.
Immeasurable comes into being. Quality of attention. Heavenly grace.
Some heavenly grace that will preserve him against falling into this mournful round of coming to be and passing away.
Yes.
Thinking of the past on the one hand, anticipating the future on the other. You're saying he falls out of the present now.
Yes, that's right.
I understand.
So if we could keep to that meaning of that word, religion.
So what he just said here is basically at some point the priest went, you know what, I'm bored with this experience, but there is some other experience which I think would make this experience better or is better than this experience, right? So there is some experience, or if I had more money, or if people thought I was God, if I had like sense of self-worth, that is like better than this moment. So I want that. And there's like a seeking, you see, now we're stuck what he calls the past or the future.
Then from there, the question arises, can the mind be so attentive in the total sense that the unnameable comes into being? You see, personally, I've never read any of these things, Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, all the rest of it, or any philosophy. But I questioned everything.
Yes.
Yes.
Not questioned only, but one sees the absolute necessity of a mind that's completely quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's only out of quietness you perceive what is happening. If I'm chattering, I won't listen. If my mind is constantly rattling away, what you're saying, I won't pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
To pay attention means to be quiet.
There have been some priests, apparently, who usually ended up in a great deal of trouble for it. There have been some priests who had, it seems, a grasp of this. I was thinking of Meister Eckhart's remark that,
Man, I wish I had my editing software. There's something called denoise. So if I just slap that on this video, all this noise that you're hearing will just vanish. It's like magic. I don't think I can like do it live. But if I could do that live, man, it would be great.
whoever is able to read the book of nature doesn't need any scriptures at all.
At all. That's just it.
Of course, he ended up in very great trouble. Yes, he had a bad time toward the end of his life, and after he died, the church denounced him.
Of course. I mean, organized belief as church and all the rest of it is too obvious. You know, it isn't subtle, it hasn't got the quality of real depth and real spirituality. You know what it is.
Yes, I do.
So, I'm asking, what is the quality of the mind?
Yes, I do.
So, I'm asking, what is the quality of a mind, and therefore heart and brain? What is the quality of a mind that can perceive something beyond the measurement of thought?
Mm-hmm.
What is the quality of a mind?
So you see this gesture that he's doing. What is the quality of the mind? He's literally like trying to like feel that. You see, he's trying to like what's the quality of this pen? I wish this guy was alive. I would ask him. If I have to say what's the quality of this pen, and probably this guy would like touch and feel it. That's what I'm assuming. Like quality. It's all experiential information. You see, the quality of something is it's a very experiential information. I'm gonna hammer this home. Hammer it home.
Because that quality is the religious mind. That quality of a mind.
To use your earlier phrase, gathering together
Yes.
toward a one-pointed, attentive.
Attention is, would you say attention is one-pointed?
No, I didn't mean to imply focus when I said one-pointed.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I meant rather integrated into itself as utterly quiet and unconcerned about taking thought for what is ahead or what is behind. Simply being there. The word there isn't good either, because it suggests that there's a where and a here and all the rest of it. It is very difficult to find, it seems to me, language to do justice to what you're saying. Precisely because when we speak, utterance is in time, and it is progressive. It has a quality, doesn't it, more like music than we see in graphic art. You can stand before a picture, whereas to hear music and grasp its theme, you virtually have to wait until you get to the end and gather it all up. And with language, you have the same difficulty.
Man, who is this guy? That's a very good point. Yeah, see, it's true.
No, I think so, won't you? When we are inquiring into this problem, what is the nature and the structure of a mind?
Man, let me finish.
And therefore the quality of a mind. Mm-hmm. As we were talking the other day about suffering, personal and the sorrow of the world.
I can't believe he just, maybe it's just me, because I read so much. I can't believe he just figured it all out solo. It's like, but he questioned everything and he was like, you know what? I got it.
It isn't that we must suffer. Submarines, airplanes, blah, all the rest of it. They've exercised their brain to produce all that. And why hasn't that same brain applied to this enormous sense of fear man has from the beginning of days? Why? Which means, why have you, the speaker, have not gone into this question seriously, as you do go very seriously when you are hungry, when you are ambitious, when you want more money?
My God, this guy's coming after us, man. Holy. So, I think the question he's trying to highlight in this clip is the fact that why are we facing fear in the first place? And man, these are like really good questions, especially the reason I love Jiddu Krishnamurthi so much, because he teaches you how to self-inquire. If you understand that self-inquiry is not a process of answering something in terms of language, but rather than experiencing something, this is what's
describing something abnormal.
Waiting. So every time he does this, guys, take it in your head. This is the checkpoint. You see, before it was like a first argument that you have to directly verify for yourself. Can you notice the nature of the fear? So at this point, you kind of like notice when fear comes up. Notice the sensation. Feel it. Where is it in your body? Is it in your chest, stomach? What kind of sensation is it? Is it a piercing sensation, or is it a pulsating sensation, or is it kind of like a radiating, Where exactly is the eye of the fear? And what is the quality of it? Does it feel like pins piercing you? Is it in your chest, your throat, in your back, in your stomach? Chest, throat, stomach is the one usually most people have it. and you sit with it. And here's where the investigation process starts. Understand the quality of it, understand the nature of it. And once you did there, you reach to this checkpoint right here. And once you reached here, you get to the next one.
It's a fact.
And he calls that a fact. See, the throbbing, the sensation of the fear is the fact. You see, it's not something conceptual, it's not something imaginary, it's something that's very real, and you can actually feel it in your direct experience. You feel the sensation, and that's a fact. He uses the word fact. I use the word direct experience. It's the same thing. Different symbol pointing at the same behavior to understand reality.
Affects your sleep. It affects your daily life.
Let's go. What is fear?
Find out what is the cause of fear.
Go, man.
We know all the expressions of fear. So, if we can find the root of it, the expressions can wither away. So, what is the cause or causation of fear? If one asks you that question, what's the cause? Would you answer it? Cause. Or do you expect someone to explain to the cause of it? The explanation is not the fact. All that somehow has withdrawn. I'm left utterly empty, lonely. Why? What is this feeling of utter despair? I'll explain, but the explanation is not the fact. The word is not the thing. If that thing...
The map is not the territory, is what they say in the spiritual community. Map is not the territory, guys. Okay.
If that becomes very clear, that the word is not the thing. You, Mr. Smith, is not Mr. Smith. The word is not you. When you say my wife or my husband, that is. You understand? Yeah, I'm glad you understand that at least. So, explanation is not the reality, the truth. So, look at it, let's look at it without the word. Without the word, loneliness. Can you do it? To look at that feeling without using the word lonely.
Bruh, so this is what he actually means by the quality to do with the idea of loneliness. Lonely.
Or despair. Loneliness comes when all our days are spent in self-centeredness.
Ego, basically.
The very activity of self-centeredness is producing loneliness, right? Because it's narrowing my whole or the vast, extraordinary existence of life into a small little me. And when one realizes that, there is that feeling, my God, how lonely I am. And to face it, to be with it completely, not move away from it, then there is a radical change.
So in Buddhism, they call it sitting with the emotion or sitting with a feeling tone, sitting with the experience of loneliness. And you, so basically, if let's say this pen is actually loneliness, all right, normally you have an aversive reaction to this pen. If this was loneliness, you have an aversive reaction to it, like, no man, I want something, a human connection, ice cream, I want something. And I don't want to even look at it. So this is your reaction, right? So but he's saying, if you sit with the emotions, look at it, feel it, experience it, you see, investigate it, right, touch it, feel it, investigate it, there's going to be a radical change.
Is one of the causes of fear. Obviously. I am thinking about death because I'm old man or young, or you see some hearse going by with all the flowers, horses, cars. What a civilized country this is. With all the noise of death. And I see thought is one of the causes of death. One of the causes of fear, right? Do you see this? Obvious fact, right? Right, sirs?
Yes, please, yes.
No. And also, time is a factor of fear. Right?
Hard to understand.
I am afraid what might happen.
Okay, I can see what you're saying.
I am afraid of something I have done.
He's saying this time is a factor of fear. Thought I understood, but time I didn't understand, but now I get it. Basically, fear happens when you're attached to the past or future, some moment in past or future, more than this moment, and you're afraid that whatever actions you're doing right now is taking you away from your attached moment. Let's say you have to finish an assignment this today night. You are doing something that is taking you, you're doing something that is not the assignment, obviously. So it's taking you away from this attached reality, and that causes fear, you see.
What is necessary to drive a car, take a bus, take the train? Thought is necessary, time is necessary at that level. Right? Now I'm saying, as thought and time are the root of fear, is thought and time necessary? There it is necessary. But psychologically, is thought and time necessary?
Yeah, good question.
You right? Is it? As long as time and thought are, if you think are necessary, in the psychological world, in the world of the self, in the world of psyche, in the world of inside the skin, then you will be perpetually in fear. Right? If you perceive that, if there is a perception that thought is the root of fear and time, perception, not acceptance, then you thought and time are necessary at the physical level. Inwardly, it's not necessary. Therefore, you're watching them. You're watching, the brain is actively watching itself. Every minute, we have searched, asked, read. We have sought the advice of others. We wandered the earth and find out to find out what it's all about. But we never ask of ourselves, we never demand of ourselves serious, deep questions. We always ask superficial questions. And so we make our life very superficial. But if you ask questions, questions that are demand answer from yourself,
Answer experientially, guys.
so that you exercise your brain, your feelings, your whole attention is given to that question. Then you begin to discover for yourself without being told by anybody, including this speaker. And so when there is freedom from fear, you are at the end. You don't want gods, you don't want anything from anybody in the world. Then you are really a free man.
Man, amazing. Amazing. Something.
Read. We have sought the advice of others. We wander the earth and to find out what it's all about. But we never ask of ourselves, we never demand of ourselves serious, deep questions. We always ask superficial questions. And so we make our life very superficial. But if you ask questions, questions that are demand answer from yourself,
Answer experientially, guys.
so that you exercise your brain, your feelings, your whole attention is given to that question. Then you begin to discover for yourself without being told by anybody, including this speaker. And so when there is freedom from fear, you are at the end. You don't want gods, you don't want anything from anybody in the world. Then you are really a free man.
Man, amazing. Inquiry here, if you notice.
This happening is the mystery. It has no need to be solved, nor can it be solved.
I'm back to differ. I'm just kidding that.
Really, it's the effort to solve the mystery, which is why this meeting is happening. There's an experience, an idea that the mystery is there to be solved, that there is something to be known about who or what is looking and seeing the computer screen. What's the meaning behind looking at the computer screen? The hope might be that in this meeting, there'll be something said where you'll go, that's it. That's the meaning. That's what it's about. You might be curious about a purpose.
Purpose.
What's the purpose? What's the secret? How do I find the secret? You know, that one experience, that one thing that's going to happen, or maybe it did happen a year ago, a week ago, a month ago. How do I get that back? What did I do or what didn't I do? How do I make it happen?
Man, it's
How do I
coming
find
after us,
what
guys.
seems to be missing as I sit here, look at the computer screen, sensing some sort of need, some sort of tension, trying to grab onto the words, trying to go, oh, look, he said that. Does that mean something? Does that point to something?